Hey guys, it's Drek, and I mentioned a while ago that I was sanding a Longshot stock to make a new HVZ blaster that I want to be just this really effective blaster for HVZ. So I figured I'd start that project now. I'd document the whole thing on camera. I'm going to show you half of the stock. This is a weird mod because I did the stock first. And this half of the stock is my least favorite half of the stock, but I put a ton of time into detailing both halves of the stock. It's got a few small Fang signatures, a black, silver, and Fanger red paint job, and it says Drak the Nerf Vampire. It's still drying, so I'm going to set that aside while I talk to you about the main body for the Longshot that I'm going to be using this for. This is the perfect candidate for this Longshot that I'm making because it's in awful shape. And I have a special place in my heart for taking Longshots that are just really beat up and in really crummy shape and turning them into things that I think, at least, are really cool and really useful. The battle rifle was in terrible shape when I found it, as was the first Spartan shot. And this is going to be no exception. It'll be really cool by the time I'm done, hopefully. As you'll notice, it doesn't have a priming bar, but that's okay because I intend to install a shotgun foregrip on this one. And this has been carved up and looks pretty nasty, so I'm going to smooth that down and hopefully shape it up so it at least looks a little cleaner, like it was designed to be cut up. And I'll need these grooves to be intact to use that original Captain Slug shotgun foregrip. I'm also going to have to sand off some of the damage that's been done to the running rails and just generally tidy up the blaster. It's missing a lot of screws, so I'm going to poach some screws from other blasters. And I don't really like logos, and I may paint this yellow piece because I think it's weird that this piece is yellow and none of the rest of it is yellow. I know the scope originally was, but it's not going to have a scope for HVZ. That would be silly. So I'm going to paint this piece probably Fanger red so it matches the stock. And I may do all the bolts up silver like I like. And then I'll sand off a lot of the logos and name it something new. So without further ado, I'm going to get to the internals, and I'll show you what I do to the internals. It'll probably have battle rifle internals, but I'll give you a shot of the finished internals, and then I'll show you the finished blaster. Alright, so you guys can see here that I'm partway through the Longshot mod that I'm making just for fun for HVZ. I've come in and you can tell that I've installed some of my awesome aluminum bolt sled reinforcements, and I've sanded down those edges. I actually did it with super glue this time, and I'm hoping that that works just as well as it usually does, and it still needs to be sanded over a little. I need to knock off some of this dust and grease it again. I also had to deal with some pretty crummy mods that were done ahead of me in that there was a bunch of super glue on the bolt sled, and I have no idea how that was affecting the performance, but I imagine it was bad. I did my traditional way of removing all the dead space in a stock breech, the same way I did the battle rifle internals, and then, although a lot of the mods done to this beforehand were not so great, this one's actually pretty decent. It's a Big Bad Bow plunger padding in that it was taken from the arrow of a Big Bad Bow, and it's pretty clean, and I think I'm going to leave it as is. I did double the O-rings and layer in some extra Teflon tape so that this should get a flawless seal, and after I put this custom length of K25 spring back into the plunger, some of you who are more familiar with the blasters that I like to tinker with know that I like doing quirky things to them. And I didn't really want to go all out and do LEDs on this one, but I did want to do something interesting to the spaces. And you can see down here that this is semi-transparent, and you can see here that it's the same thing. And you can see that I've done frog tape over this grating. I still have to get these holes. And if I flip it over, you can see that each of those wells has been filled entirely. Now when I remove the frog tape, you can tell that these were filled entirely with hot glue. But again, if you know my work reasonably well, you know that my favorite kind of hot glue is glow-in-the-dark hot glue. So this should be pretty interesting by the time it's done, and will hopefully serve to make this a more interesting blaster. You can also tell that at this point I've rounded off all of these edges and made them much smoother so that it looks a whole lot cleaner, and it'll stay that way when I install the grip. Hey guys, so I have finished the Sophia. That's what I've decided to call this Longshot for HVZ. It is the Sophia CS Infinity, and the reason I've called it that is because this is the original side of the stock that I showed you. It just has my little tagline on it, Drak the Nerf Vampire. On the other side, when I made this stock, while I was making it, I was listening to one of my favorite Crook Shadow songs, Sophia, and I just wrote down the lyrics, "Here I am, alive amongst the injured and the dead," and I thought that that was a great lyric for HVZ. So I've put lyrics from that song on the blaster in other places. On this side, I left the Nerf logo, wrote Sophia, and put "Look to see a living source of light." And then on the other side, it says "Thy will be done," and then I've signed it again, Drac, up here. And I'm really happy with how this Longshot performs. I painted this red. The glow-in-the-dark hot glue is just really, really cool, and I wish that there was a way that I could get that to show up on my camera, but even when I try over at Germ's blog to get things that glow in the dark to show up on camera, I just can't do it. And it's a real pity, but it looks very cool at night. I have one of my clear clips here, which I'll load with an assortment of darts to fire off. I like the whiteout streamlines. I've got some regular streamlines. I'll put in a full clip. That one's not in good shape. And then up at top, I'll put one of my glow-in-the-dark hot glue tip streamlines, which are magnificent in this blaster. The foregrip has been installed as far forward as it will go. It runs along these running rails. It runs incredibly smooth. It looks good. It's clear. And I put a bat sticker that I found when the Halloween stuff at Hobby Lobby was on sale underneath there. These glow in the dark, all of these vents glow in the dark, and then the back near the stock glows in the dark. The detailing has been done entirely in silver, black, and Fanger red, and it turned out, I think, really nice. The jam door has been left intact, and the shotgun style priming grip is just super smooth and very easy to work with. When I prime it and fire, I get incredible ranges. I know I always say that I get incredible ranges, so I'll tell you that this shoots about 75 flat with my modified streamlines. And you can see that the rate of fire on this is just really nice. I think I've got one shot left. And I'm just really, really happy with the Sophia. It shoots farther than my Alpha Trooper, the Death Dealer CS Infinity, and they're both my HVZ primaries. So now, sadly, I'm going to have to choose which one I want to use personally, and I'll probably end up loaning the other one to someone in my army because they're both too fine a primary for HVZ to leave on the wall. Now, the other things I want to talk about in this video are the contest. The contest ends very soon, but there's still time to get your entries in before December the 1st when I'm closing the entries, and then I'll make a video showing some of the entries that I've received, and I'll obviously announce a winner. I've gotten a lot of really great entries, and I recently got one that I'm very excited about and think might be the winner, so if you're working on something special, get that in soon. But really pleased with how the contest is going. I've gotten a ton of great entries and some goofy ones, but the goofy ones that I think are funny will go in the video anyway. Now, I'm also selling some things for the holidays, and there's some of my older mods and some other things that I've just got lying around that I need to kind of make space on my wall for new mods next year. And I'll show you all three of the things that I've recently put on eBay. I know I still use eBay because I think it's the most fair way to determine the price of the things I sell. I have no idea what my stuff is worth, so I like letting you guys, the viewer, decide. This is one of my Steffens. I'm going to put it in this speed loader. This is a terrible paint job that I did on a Night Finder that performs very nicely. It's got a keyring draw, I think a Home Depot spring in it, although I'm not sure. I'd have to go rewatch the video I made on it. A white paint job with red acrylic. This is before I started using enamel, so the acrylic doesn't look nearly as nice. The coupler isn't seated as far in. This is one of my very early mods, but it still performs very well, even though it doesn't look particularly pretty. It still hits 70 feet with Steffens, which makes it a fine NIC pistol. It's very powerful, and I like it a lot. I use it as a loaner blaster, but it's finally time to part ways with it. So it's for sale on eBay. This is a black and silver Alpha Trooper. I don't remember where I got this, but it's got a power stock with a mechanically fastened recon stock on the back. Nerfomania actually did this for me at one point. I broke the stock off of this and he was just hanging out over here and he was like, oh, I've got a bolt. So we mechanically fastened that on there and it's never going anywhere. It's very solid. This has been cut down, black and silver paint job, a little bit of battle wear, it's got some scratches, orange tip that's been sanded down, and it also performs pretty nicely. It's got all the mods, E-tape over the air release hole, better seal, and a brass stub inside its breech. Here, I can open that up and show you that there's a brass stub inside there that gives the darts a little bit of a tighter fit. I'll put a couple of shots through that as well. These are two whiteout streamlines. And it performs nicely. It looks good. I think that the battle wear actually adds to the look of this black and silver paint job. This would be a fine HVZ primary if you wanted it to be. I'm going to deprime it now so I don't forget before I put it in the box. And then this is the final thing that I'm selling. This is a Fury Fire 2K mod. It's got an AT2K. I made a video on this a while ago. It was originally made by Germ, the guy that I author with on Nerf mods and reviews, and he's a fantastic modder. He's really good at these air-timed turret blasters. Sadly, I am not very good at these air-timed turret blasters, so the timing on this may be a little bit off now. And because the timing was off, that dart didn't fire. It should be an easy repair if you think you know your way around a turret with a seal like this. By all means, bid on it. It's a very nice blaster. I'm not very good with this timing mechanism for the air tank and the turret. So, I no longer have a use for it, and I need the room. But I'm selling this, I'm selling the Alpha Trooper, and my very old Night Finder. And I think that covers it for this vid. Everyone, thanks for watching, and you should definitely get those contest entries in by December 1st, because I'm loving all the different artwork that I'm seeing that my viewers are capable of. Thanks! Guys, one last thing, Orange ModWorks is actually doing some serious Black Friday sales that have been going on for a while now. And today's sale, and I know that tomorrow and the next days, are going to be really good deals, so you should monitor those by clicking on the thing in the description box, tinyurl.com/orangemodworks, which will take you to the Orange ModWorks website. Click on their Black Friday deal and pick up some good prices on their stuff. I think they're giving away free things for any order over $15 today. Don't quote me on that, but that's a pretty awesome deal. I'm pretty sure that they've got jerseys and assembled blasters and some kits that they're going to be throwing in random orders over the course of today. So if you want to get some really cool Orange ModWorks swag for free, you should definitely look into placing an order today. Again, check out the link in the description box, and as always, thanks for watching.